with we're waiting for the mulligan decisions to sort of set up, but I'll go over here right now. My favorite Magmar strategy is this like flash reincarnation Pandora's and then fractal replication, and then you just sort of play this like slow and steady deck where you just fill up your side of the board with this impenetrable wall and just like saunter over leisurely. All right. It looks like we've got TM87 playing TheZJ. TheZJ running forward, a little uncharacteristic of the race, but you know when that usually happens, what it means is that they're going for a burn strategy rather than actually racing. So you want to talk a little bit about what the burn strategy entails, Skarzig, just as a reminder to the viewers?
Right. Again, you can't directly attack your opponent with your minions or your general, but spell damage is going to be able to go through just fine. We do see Soul in the ZJ's hand, which reactivates your battle pets. And again, the battle pet damage is going to be just fine by the rules. The burn strategy, especially when you're going in like this, all in, taking the mana, trying to just completely swarm your opponent down, is pretty risky, right? Because you really, at this point, don't have a way to get yourself back into the race if you have to fall into a backup plan. So the ZJ going for a full all-in assault here.
Yeah, he's got this combo here, this Ion, Thumping Wave, Soul combo. That's 14 points of damage right there. And in a world where people aren't packing all that much healing, that's a lot of damage.
Right, and Ion, again, it's a ranged battle pet, but it still follows the battle pet AI where it's going to attack the nearest target. So you can just summon the Ion in your opponent's face, and it'll still strike them.
I like the inclusion of, it looked like Aphotic. There's a new card from Rise of the Bloodborne where you sacrifice a guy and gain 5 life. So it looks like that's a really nice piece of anti-burn tech that the Abyssian player has in his hand.
Right. And wow, Blood Moon Priestess coming down. I really like this too because Gore, because it automatically spawns in the corner, you're able to set up your Blood Moon Priestess ahead of time much more easily. Had the ZJ, like that was one of the final corners that he needed to take, would need to start fighting through an impenetrable wall of Wraithlings. When the Blood Moon Priestess is fully surrounded, as soon as you kill a Wraithling, one will spawn in its place. We're going to see the big combo coming down here on the Ion.
Soul, take 8.
Oh my god, this is frightening.
Bonk.
Ooh. And look at this, TM87, he can't walk away from this minion. At this point, you have to summon something. You have to sacrifice a body to this thing.
Oh no, you had the punish to deal with it. Good.
That's lucky.
I will say this: if that Gore had still been on the board, I think he could have gotten like a Thumping Wave in instead of just the Greater Fortitude, right? Oh my gosh! All right, so he dealt with the Ion. None of these regular old minions are going to be able to attack him. So for the time being, he's safe. Although I will reiterate that things like Frenzy, we see this Macantra Warbeast in the ZJ's hand, are going to be able to attack the opposing player. So it looks like Yun is coming down, followed by a Flameblood Warlock. So,
Wow, so now he's got him trapped down here in the bottom row, looking to start beating his face in. The Yun being played as a 5/4. The ZJ is forcing TM87 to keep throwing minions down to keep these battle pets off of his face. The important thing to note here as well is if a minion does survive, that gives the ZJ, a potential frenzy target, because Macantor Warbeast, you can't target the general directly with that frenzy. It just happens to get caught up in the way when you happen to be slapping a Wraithling.
Well, I really like this play. The Shadow Dancer plus it looks like Demonic Lure is going to net the ZJ or net TM87 a bunch of life here, both in not being attacked by a battle pet and the triggers from the Shadow Dancer. So that's a pretty solid play, getting him back in the game, and acting as an alternate win con, honestly.
Yeah, because now the TM87, who's actually been racing, right? If he's ever able to step around this barricade, he has the potential to threaten the ZJ with damage and also threaten him with being able to take corners too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, it looks like this Mechantor Warbeast is going to take a huge chunk out of TM87's life. And not only that, is this lethal? I didn't check. No. Not only that, but kill the Shadow Dancer as well to take this big threat off the board.
Yeah, that's really smart. I'm wondering, he probably could have summoned the Shadow Dancer in maybe a safer spot to avoid that because he needed to step around.
Yeah. Thankfully, it looks like he's got another Shadow Dancer in hand, so I can only imagine that TM87 basically has to play it right here. And
yeah, let me see. He gains 4 HP, excuse me. The Wraithlings will die, and then a spare Wraithling can take out the Flameblood Warlock as well.
Yeah, that should be 5 HP, right? Because two Wraithlings and two other cards. So it's getting pretty close. He's got his opponent down to 7.
Yeah, this is extremely close. And the other thing too is now TM87 is able to flee into the welcoming bosom of his of his Wraithling swarm here. That might actually be able to because look, he has this side of the board pre-prepared, right? Because he can take all these corners now for free. Entropic Gaze coming down. That's a 4 damage burst, and now that he's amongst all of his Wraithlings, Mechantor Warbeast taking out all of those guys will just allow him to regain a bunch of life.
Yeah. Well, I like this. Look what he has in his hand. He's got Necrotic Sphere. He can just move into a bunch of, like a circle of those Wraithlings and then just Necrotic Sphere to kill his opponent for like an 8-point burst, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah. So the ZJ actually conceding here. Wow. Not able to get through the Shadow Dancer.
I was pretty convinced that the ZJ was going to win that one.
Yeah, he had him down super low, and we saw some really crazy combos in his hand with the Greater Fortitude, and even threatening the Mechantor Warbeast. But yeah. oh man, we saw what happens. Is like he had him down on the ropes, but it's a very all-in risky strategy because if your opponent is able to create any kind of distance, or if they have just enough healing to weather the onslaught, they just pull away from you.